If you want to get the best out of Couchsurfing, you need to have a great Couchsurfing profile, especially if you are planning to surf and want to make sure that hosts accept your stay requests. And in this video, I will help you achieve that. Hello everyone, my name is Anna and I love traveling, exploring different cultures and meeting great people. That is why I love the Couchsurfing community. Before we start working on your profile, if you haven't seen my previous video, What is Couchsurfing in Reality?, I would recommend you to stop this video and go and watch that one first, because it is very important to understand the main idea and the culture of Couchsurfing. I will leave the link to the video somewhere here and also in the description of the video. So, if you have an interesting profile, people will be willing to meet with you and hosts will be interested in hosting you. Especially if you go to some big city where hosts receive around 20 coach requests per day, you need to somehow stand out from others, and having a detailed and cool profile will help you with that. Of course, it is also important to write a great couch request, which we will talk about in another video, but having a great profile will bring you half of the success. I know that probably you feel lazy and don't really want to spend your time on filling out your profile completely, but believe me, that it's very, very important. It will take only 20 or 30 minutes of your time, but it will really make a great difference. So first, I want to give you some general recommendations, and after that, we will look closely at every section of the profile. And the first important thing that I would like to point out is this. Be honest and sincere in your profile. Show people who you really are. Don't write about something just because you think that a potential host will like it. For example, if you are kind of introvert, do not write that you are super outgoing and communicative and love socializing. Then your host will probably be perplexed when you meet, and your experience will not be too great for both of you. There are all types of people in the Couchsurfing community, and you do not need to play a role of some outgoing person or any other roles. You are already unique the way you are, so be yourself and always be honest. Also, be thorough in your profile. Don't be shy when talking about yourself. Just think about it this way. If you had someone to come and stay in your house, would you like to know everything there is to know about that person? Of course. So make a detailed profile. At the same time, I would recommend you not to be super serious and have some fun when filling your profile. Also, the more detailed and complete your profile is, the more reliable you will look, because it will show that you really spent your time and effort. So, the first important part of your profile is your photos. Upload photos of yourself. I guess no one would like to interact with someone who doesn't show themselves, especially hosts. And make sure that you upload photos where your face and eyes are clearly visible. You don't really need to show pictures where you stand artistically facing the ocean with your back to the camera, or some silhouette pictures, or any meaningless photos without you in them. Also, try not to put pictures with bad quality, blurred pictures, and please do not upload only the photos where you are wearing sunglasses. Put photos that will show what kind of person you are. It's good to upload pictures that show your interests, your hobbies, what sports you do. Also, if you already did some traveling, upload pictures of the places you went to. Show people what countries or what cities you have visited. For example, in my profile, I put pictures of some different places I have been to, and also pictures that show me doing my hobbies, sports, martial arts and dancing. And do not upload just 1 or 2 pictures. Have more. There is never too many. If you can put 10, 20 or 30 photos, that will be cool. Just make sure that they differ from each other. Do not put 20 similar pictures from the same location, or all photos with the same face expression. The more different pictures of yourself you put to your profile, the better. It also kind of increases people's trust to you, as they will see that you are a real person doing real things. And every time think what you would like to show to another person with your pictures. How would you like them to perceive you? Also, create a separate album with pictures from Couchsurfing, from different meetings, events, hangouts, and pictures with your hosts and guests. It's also very cool. People will see that you are a part of the community, that you are active on Couchsurfing. Also, if they see that you are having fun, that you all look happy, they will think that probably you had a very good experience, which means that most likely they will have a cool experience with you too. So it's more likely that people would like to host you. Also, if you are planning to host people, it's nice to put pictures of your home and of the coach or the room that you are going to allocate for your guests. In our profile, we also have references that you receive from other members of the community after interacting with them. We will speak about them in detail in one of my next videos. Now let's see what sections there are on a profile and how it's better to fill them out. In general, the idea is simple. As I said before, the more complete and thorough your profile is, the better. Don't write just 1 or 2 words in each section. Give a fuller description of yourself. To edit your profile, you need to press the blue button located in the right down corner of the screen. First, set the status of your profile. If you decided to start hosting people, set your status as accepting guests. Then travelers will know that you are available and that they can send their coach requests to you. You can also set your status as maybe accepting guests if you are open for hosting but you are not available on some days. Maybe you don't have stability in your plans, or you're going to be out of the city for a while, or you will be super busy some days, or you already agreed that you will host someone on some days. So maybe your work schedule is always changing, or you have business trips quite often. In those cases, this status will describe your situation better. People will know that it is less likely that you will be available to host them if they send you a coach request, but still they can give it a try. If you are not ready to host anyone just now, but you do want to socialize, to be an active member of the community, if you are open to meeting with new people, then set your status as wants to meet up. I chose the last option, not accepting guests, as I'm traveling myself and I do not have an opportunity to host people now. And if you set this status, then people will see that there is no meaning in sending a coach request to you. Another section of the profile is overview about yourself. Here you can choose the countries that you have visited. If you've already traveled the world, it is good to show this. You can add countries by typing them. Then choose the countries that you lived in for quite a long time. In the next section, choose the languages that you can speak fluently. If you know other languages apart from English, show it. Maybe some people that you'll meet on Couchsurfing will not know English very well, but they might know other languages that you can have in common. I think it's best when you can speak the same language on a good level, because then you will be able to speak about some deep topics. That's what I like personally. After that, write the languages that you are learning now, that you want to improve and practice. Then you can write your occupation. I haven't written anything there as I have changed many different jobs and I'm not working at the moment, so I decided to leave it empty. The next section is education. You can write what you studied at university. Then your hometown or home country where you are originally from. Next section is called About You. I know that it can feel weird to write about yourself, but you need to introduce yourself to the community, to other people. You can write here what kind of person you are, what you do in life, what hobbies you have, where you live, and if you are traveling, you can write about your travel plans here. It is also good to include your life philosophy or maybe some statements that will describe you, your beliefs, and your values in life the best way. And be straightforward. It is good to write openly what you feel about the world, and people will accept it, as far as it is not offensive, of course. And it is nice to show what person you are, not using just some generalizations like I'm funny, easygoing, smart and kind, but instead write your specific characteristics that will show your authenticity. Maybe you love peanut butter, or you love TED Talks, or sometimes you like being a sarcastic smartass. Write about these things. Also, if you cannot host people at the moment, it is good to write about it in this section. Maybe to write why you cannot do this. In the next section, choose what interests you have in life. There is also a space below where you can describe your interests in more details. The more information you give, the better. There is a higher possibility that the host will respond to your coach request if you have similar interests and common points. Because this way, you can have a great connection that will lead to an amazing surfing experience. The next section is called Teach, Learn, Share. You know, Couchsurfing is a community of positive, open-minded and people-oriented individuals. In Couchsurfing, it is all about sharing, and it is good if you appeal to these values in your profile. So here you can write what you can teach other members of the community, the things that you want to learn, or what you can share with others. Maybe you have some talents or skills that you can teach other people, or just think about activities that you can do together with other members of the community. Next section is why I'm on Couchsurfing. And you shouldn't write that you just want to have a free place to stay, even though it can be the case. Also, you should understand that Couchsurfing is not a free hotel or hostel. If you stay with someone, it is considered that in most cases, if the host is free, you will spend time together and have some cultural exchange. So you can write in this section that you are interested in meeting the great, open-minded and free-spirited people of the Couchsurfing community, in spending time together, maybe in learning new languages, finding new friends, traveling as a local, and so on. Then you can describe what music, books, and movies you like. Sometimes it can be that a person decides to host you just because you like the same type of music. So again, fill in this part as thoroughly as you can. The next field is one amazing thing that I've done or seen. You know, it is great to be extraordinary. Hosts would like to meet interesting people, so be someone who one would want to meet. Write here about any cool, unique or impressive things that you've done in your life. I will give you some examples. Maybe you hiked to the top of a volcano, or hitchhiked across Latin America, or biked across several countries. Maybe you ate in the coffee house where Joanne Rowling wrote her Harry Potter books, or visited some of the 7 wonders of the world. Maybe you did paragliding, or were featured on national TV. Also, if you left your regular office job from 9 to 5 for a passion or started your own business, it is cool to mention these things. Next section is what you can offer hosts. On Couchsurfing, you don't pay for the coach and hosts do not expect something from you, but still, it is not right if you only want to take and give nothing in return. People open their houses to you, so you can pay back to the host by helping them in the kitchen or with the houseworks or maybe teaching them something. I think that especially if you write that you can cook traditional food of your country, people will really be tempted to host you. The last section is my home. I haven't filled it out as I do not have a home now, I'm traveling. Of course, you should complete it if you decide to host people, but even if you are not going to host people just now, it is still good to fill in this information. It can seem strange, but you know, one host told me that From her perspective, it feels better if you do so, because then she can see that you also have a house and house rules. So it is more likely that you will respect her home and follow her house rules. I think that it makes sense. So in my home section, you can write about your preferences and about the rules people should pay attention to when they stay in your house. You can enter your detailed address in this section. It will not be visible to couchsurfers, but it's good to fill it for the accuracy of the search when people are looking for a host in your area. Then set your preferences. First section is available nights to host. If you're basically available anytime, then you can leave it the way it is. But if you, for example, work hard during the weekdays and you feel like hosting people only at the weekends because you want to spend time with your guests, then you can choose only Friday and Saturday nights. This way, if people are looking for a host in the weekdays, your profile will not appear in the search. Then you choose how many guests maximum you can host at a time. Maybe depending on the number of sleeping places you have in your home or depending on your preferences. After that, choose if it's okay or not for you to receive last-minute requests for the same night. It can be really important for some people to plan their days in advance, and it's totally okay. Though at the same time, people that did some traveling know that plans can change in the last minute or something can go wrong, so it's okay to help people that are in an urgent need for a place to stay for that night. Then you choose preferred gender. Maybe if you're a girl, you can be a little scared in the beginning to host men in your home, then you can choose preferred gender female. But if a man puts preferred gender female, it will look suspiciously. Because normally on Couchsurfing, gender isn't important, as this application is not for dating, it's for cultural exchange, for making new friends and helping each other. And if a man prefers to host only women, it will seem that probably he has some other intentions, which is not good on Couchsurfing. So yeah, if you think that Couchsurfing is a good opportunity to meet with women and you are hoping to have some intimate moments with them, then please do not use this platform at all. Because if you have bad intentions, anyway, sooner or later you will be blocked by Couchsurfing. You can use other applications. So normally there shouldn't be a preferred gender on Couchsurfing. It is better to choose any. Then you choose if kids are allowed in your home, if you are ready to host families, for example. You choose if pets are allowed in your house, if couchsurfers travel with their cat or dog. You show if there is access for a wheelchair and if smoking is allowed or not in your home. Then you show details of the sleeping arrangements for guests. Maybe you will have a private room allocated for your guests, or they will stay in a public room. Also, there are options of sharing your room with a guest or sharing a sleeping surface. Actually, I don't know if people are going to be comfortable this way. When I stayed with hosts, almost every time I had my private room. After that, show if you have children or no, if you have pets, and if you are a smoker. To know these things can be important for your guests. Then you can give a more detailed description of the sleeping arrangement. Maybe you have two sofas in your living room where your guests can sleep, or a big bed in a private room. Or maybe you have a mattress and they can sleep on the floor in the same room with you. So write about this. Next is roommate situation. Write if you have roommates or if you are living alone. Then write about public transit options. Write if your house is next to a metro station, or maybe it's 10 minutes walk from a nearest bus stop, or maybe it's outside of the city somewhere in the mountains and there are no buses going there. People should have an idea of how easy it will be for them to reach your home. If you are willing to share something with your guests, you can write what you can offer them. It can be just a place to sleep, which is totally fine, or maybe you can offer them towels, laundry, tea and breakfast, maybe nice conversations. It is totally up to you, depending on how much you want to give. In the last section, you can write anything else that you think is important for your guests to know. For example, you can write about your work schedule and say how much time you will be able to spend with them. Or you can write about your house rules here. For example, you can ask guests to clean up after themselves, or not to smoke in your house, or anything else you think is important to mention. Also, I saw many hosts writing about their hosting conditions and house rules in About Me section, so that these are the first things that people see when they visit their profile. And you can do the same. Also, if you want to be sure that your potential guests read your profile before sending a coach request, that they care about the person they request to stay with and don't just copy-paste a coach request to all hosts in that city without caring of who they are, but just wanted to get a free place to stay, then you can include some secret keyword to your profile. You can write it in My Home section or in any other section of your profile, asking guests to mention it in their coach request. This way, you will know if they have read your profile or not. I want to show you two examples where people wrote about these things at the top of their profiles in About Me section. You can pause this video and take a look at them. Okay, I hope that this video was useful for you. If that is the case, don't forget to press the like button. Also, in my next videos, I'm going to tell you how to easily get your first references, how to write a good coach request to make sure that you get hosted in all cities where you are going. And of course, how to make sure that you will be safe with the host you are going to stay with. If you do not want to miss them, subscribe to my channel. I'll see you soon!